Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Vile Self, and I just got home from Fan Expo Toronto 2014. I had early access to a whole bunch of games, and in this video, I'm gonna tell you about my experiences and tell you guys what I thought about the games I played. I didn't get a chance to play all of the games that they had there, but I played all the ones I wanted to. So, I'm gonna do my best to tell you guys how my experiences went and, give you my insights on these games. I tried getting video footage of the games, but unfortunately, certain times they asked me to put my camera away and stuff like that. So I wasn't able to get video footage of certain games. The Order 1886 was one of the games I played. However, I was not able to get video footage of it. It was the same demo, which I believe was shown at E3 earlier this year. So if you've seen that gameplay, then you pretty much know the demo I played. But basically, my experiences with this game, it's easily got the best console graphics that I've ever seen. There's absolutely no noticeable aliasing whatsoever. The game runs smooth. I didn't notice any stutters in the frames at all. And it's got a very cinematic feeling, which we all know already. And out of everyone that I watched play the game before I had a chance to play it myself, out of everyone that played, I was the only person to actually finish the demo. And I don't know if that's because people were getting bored or something like that. The game does feel a little slow paced. I don't know if that's just because of the level we're playing on or if that's how the whole game's going to be. But I'm not quite sure yet if this game will be a day one buy for me. I might wait to see some of the reviews on it first to see how the entire game plays out. If it's a pretty extensive storyline and it's got like a good 10 to 12 hours in it, then I think it'll be worth it. But if it's like a 7 or 8 hour campaign, then this is probably going to be a pass for me. I would be really excited to see what kind of other weapons there are in the game. I basically had access to two weapons, and one of them was kind of like it shot flame rockets or flame bombs or something like that. It was setting things on fire, and the other one was basically a like a light machine gun type of thing. It had like a large magazine in it and just fired a whole lot of bullets at once. Anyways, I liked the game. The demo was cool. I had fun playing it, but I can't say I was overly impressed with anything other than the graphics, which were definitely pretty mind-blowing. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about Far Cry 4. I did get some Far Cry 4 gameplay. This is off-screen gameplay. This was not me playing. I did not record myself playing. This is the guy that was playing before me. When I did play, however, I enjoyed it. This game plays just like Far Cry 3, so if you're a fan of Far Cry 3, then you'll probably be a fan of Far Cry 4 as well. I was a little disappointed because one of the people before me was playing. They actually found an out of bounds area, and this game is supposed to be open world, so I was kind of confused as to why there was an out of bounds. Maybe it was restricted due to the demo. I don't know, but if there's out of bounds areas in this game, that's going to be a little disappointing. I hope there's not, and I'm pretty sure in the final retail version there won't be, but I just found it a little weird. I only had two weapons to choose from, being a sniper rifle and a crossbow, so I was pretty restricted to long range and stealth combat only, which I'm not really a huge fan of. But I ended up going guns blazing anyway, and it didn't last very long. This game though, it's a must buy for me, simply because I love Far Cry 3 quite a lot, and I think this is just going to be an extension of that, and it's going to be basically a huge upgrade from that as well. So I had fun with Far Cry 4. I didn't play it for a very long time. It was maybe 5 minutes before I got swarmed by enemies and died, but it was fun while it lasted. As far as Driveclub goes, I was able to obtain some Driveclub gameplay footage. This is off screen, obviously, and this is me playing. So I have to say, this is the most realistic looking racing game I've ever seen. And this build of the game is definitely miles ahead of the build I played last year at Fan Expo, which was pretty atrocious. The car handling felt pretty tight, and that was kind of throwing me off a bit. I tend to prefer more loose handling in my racing games, but I'm sure things like that, can be adjusted in the options, or perhaps I just picked a tight handling car. I don't know. I was using the Aston Martin. There was a think 3 cars to choose from. One was a Ferrari, the Aston Martin, and then I think I can't remember what the third one was, maybe a McLaren or something like that. Unfortunately, the TV I was playing on had a glare from the lights on the top half of the screen, so it was sort of difficult for me to see, the turns that were coming up on the track. So I was having trouble turning and stuff like that, bumping into the guardrails and stuff a lot. The game isn't as hard to control as my gameplay is making it look like. But yeah, I was having trouble because of the glare. You probably don't see the glare on the footage right now because my girlfriend was standing behind me videotaping, and I was sitting in a chair, and the angle I was on was making the ceiling lights reflect off the TV. I do look forward to the PS Plus version of this game, so I can give it a more in-depth test before I really commit to buying it. But I'm not completely sold on it yet. Probably mainly because I'm just not a huge driving game fan. I do like driving games, I always have, but I'm just not a huge fan of them. Plus, there's quite a lot of games coming out this holiday season and early next year that are going to be eating up my time, pretty well, all my gaming time. So this one, is probably not gonna. I'm probably not gonna buy the full retail version, but I'm definitely gonna download the PS Plus version and give that a run for its money. So that's about all I have to say about Driveclub. I don't know if I should let this race play out. Now I'm just gonna end this race here, and maybe I'll upload the video another time on another commentary, just so I can move on to the next topic. Next up is Forza Horizon 2. Once again, this is me playing. My girlfriend was able to record with my cell phone. So this is my gameplay. Let's see, graphically I would say this game is about as good as Need for Speed Rivals, probably a little bit better than that, but it doesn't look as good as Driveclub. And I'm not just fanboying, I'm not just biased, PlayStation. It's just a fact. Driveclub looks better. It's all up to personal preference because Driveclub is closed track, Forza's open world, that kind of thing. But hands down, as far as graphics go, Driveclub definitely takes the cake over Forza Horizons 2. For this race, I also chose an Aston Martin, which, like the Driveclub Aston Martin, also had tight handling. So I don't know if that's an Aston Martin thing or if these games just have tight handling in them. The open world aspect of this game was interesting, but I found it kind of unrealistic. I mean, I don't know any high-end exotic sports cars that can go off-roading and still maintain a solid level of control, which I did. I pretty much plowed through what was like a wheat field or a cornfield or something, and basically just drove through it like I was on asphalt, and it felt fine. But the open world thing kind of, it would probably make me not want this game. I feel the open world aspect is the reason why Need for Speed fell short as a racer. I think a fixed closed track method that found in like Driveclub and stuff is the way to go with racing games. But again, that's just personal opinion, and that doesn't really mean everybody's gonna prefer that way. But I feel like if you're racing, you should be on a track, following a path, and open world games should be more left to games like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, where you can run around everywhere and do everything. I mean, if there's still a start and a finish line, then you should basically be on a closed track, in my opinion. Anyways, regardless of that, the game was still fun and handled well. The graphics do look pretty nice. The weather effects were really cool. So yeah, that's my impression of Forza Horizon 2. On to Sunset Overdrive now. Once again, I was able to get some gameplay. This is not my gameplay though. I was not able to record my own gameplay. This is another guy's gameplay. I thought he was doing pretty good, so I decided to record him. I don't know what to say about this game really. What you see is what you get. When I played it, similar to the Order 1886 demo, I was the only one out of everybody that I saw who actually completed the demo. At the beginning, I was sort of lost, and then I found out where the big roller coaster is, and that's where the objective is. So, I made it there and completed it. I fought and killed the giant Herker, which if you've watched any gameplay or any demos, you'll see he's the big, huge, like, monster guy. He was pretty easy to beat. It took me, like, less than a minute to beat him. The game runs smooth. It feels like it's locked at a steady 30 frames per second. I did notice some jaggies here and there, but it was nothing too serious. I would have to say, though, as a bit of a negative point, I was kind of bored playing this game, to be honest. and I think the co-op mode is going to carry this game. In the 5 to 10 minutes I played the single player, I was starting to get a little bored of grinding the rails and bouncing off bushes and stuff like that. It just seemed a little almost repetitive. Maybe it's because I was restricted to this one area and I couldn't really go too far. I'm not quite sure, but it just kind of got old really, really fast. And again, that's just personal opinion, but I'm just telling you how I feel. I do think the co-op mode in this game is going to be loads of fun. If I'm not mistaken, it does have an 8-player co-op, which you get together with 7 of your friends and you guys go through the levels in your fighting the hordes of monsters and the infected and all that stuff. That sounds really fun. But yeah, the single player in this game I feel like is going to get stale pretty fast for most people. But again, that's just my personal opinion. Last but definitely not least is Advanced Warfare. This was actually the first game I played. I beeline towards this tent. I was not allowed to get gameplay. I was told to put my camera away, which completely sucks. But either way, I did play it. I was originally under the impression that it was going to be a single player demo. However, it turned out to be full 6 vs 6 multiplayer, which was pretty cool. We were able to play 2 matches, the first being Team Deathmatch, and the second was the new game mode called Uplink. So in the team deathmatch, I started off with doing pretty well. I had about a 5 kill streak going, and then my deaths started rolling in. My team ended up winning. I finished in 3rd place with a score of 8-6 with 4 assists. The second game, Uplink, we won again, and I finished in 2nd place with 18 kills and 6 deaths, and I led the entire lobby with 4 Uplinks. Had the most in the game, which was pretty cool. The game mode was fun. I'm gonna have fun playing it when it comes out. I think it's a cool new game mode for for Call of Duty. I think the final score was 12-5 for my team, but I'm not 100% sure on that. This game felt great and ran really smooth. However, this was my first time ever playing Call of Duty in a LAN setting, and it makes a world of a difference, I have to say. Graphically, I would say that this game is better than Ghost as far as next gen Call of Duty goes, but it wasn't as great as it wasn't as crisp as maybe Killzone, for example. The engine of this game has a different sort of feeling to it. Perhaps there's something wrong with my controller, or maybe they changed it, but there seemed to be no sprint when L3 was pressed. I was trying to sprint and it just wasn't doing anything. The boost jumps are awesome. And the gunfights, in my opinion, will require a lot more skill than previous Call of Duties. The side boost dash is very handy, but it takes some practice and getting used to, and is also something that's going to require some skill to use. I feel probably anybody that uses a SCUF controller or a controller similar to a SCUF would probably benefit highly from mapping the L3 button to one of the back paddles. It would definitely make boosting around a lot easier, and you'd be able to basically evade gunfire and surprise attack opponents a lot easier. The time to kill of the weapons felt more comparable to a Treyarch game than an Infinity Ward game, which is odd since Sledgehammer recently worked on an Infinity Ward game with Modern Warfare 3. But yeah, it felt more like Black Ops 2 than it did like Ghosts as far as time to kill goes. You guys may already know this, but the melee attack is a super punch. It's not a knife. And in order to use the knife, you actually have to have no sidearm equipped, and you have to actually switch to your knife in order to use it, which is a new feature that we've never seen in Call of Duty before. And I did switch to it, but I never actually had a chance to kill anybody with it. I did kill a few people with my melee punch, and it is a one-hit kill. So I don't really know if there's a difference between that and the knife. I don't know why you'd want to pull out your knife to get a kill when you can easily just melee a guy and have it be one hit anyway. But that's how it is. So my overall impressions were great for Advanced Warfare. I think Sledgehammer Games has taken a big step in the right direction. And, I'm excited to play this game. I thought, it was definitely cool. I think there's a learning curve that everybody's going to have to deal with. And, I think there's probably going to be a lot of people that kind of shy away from it at first because all the jumping around and stuff like that makes it difficult to shoot guys and even find guys and stuff like that. And sometimes guys kind of drop right in front of you or right behind you. And, there's a bit of a learning curve. So I think it's great for guys like me who've been playing Call of Duty, for years. You know, it's kind of getting to the point where it's stale, and for a lot of people, it's been stale for years. So I think this is a nice new fresh step, and I'm glad to see that Sledgehammer Games has taken it to this level. So anyway, guys, that's been my experience with the games I played at Fan Expo. I wish I could have played more. They had several other games there, including Evolve, Little Big Planet, Marvel Superheroes, The Evil Within. You know, they had exclusive Destiny demo and Halo Master Chief Collection, all kinds of stuff. But there's only so much time in the day, and there's only so many lines that I feel like waiting in. So that's it. That's the experiences I had. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything specific that you want to know about, I'll try my best to answer you guys. I tried to cover everything that I could, all my impressions that I had. But definitely, if you have any questions, shoot them my way about any one of these games, and I'll do the best to my ability to answer them for you. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'm wrapping it up right here. Vile Self out.